All right. Hello, everyone. So today I want to talk about digital empathy. And I want to talk about why it has become one of the most important forms of communication that we have. So imagine trying to balance being a mom of 3 young children, and they're all under the age of 5. And then I'm living with lupus. I'm currently having a flare. My eyes are dry. I don't feel good. I'm tired. And I'm also going through a recent divorce. And I'm still trying to keep up with work, school, and my family, most importantly. And life can become overwhelming very, very quickly. Very quickly. Sometimes the only communication that we have with people is through text and through social media. And because of that, it's easy for people to misunderstand what someone else is going through. And today, basically, I'll explain what digital empathy is, why it matters, and how we all can become better communicators. So, what is digital empathy? Digital empathy means showing understanding, kindness, and compassion when communicating through technology, like texting, email, and social media, or even video calls. So unlike a face-to-face conversation, we can't always hear someone's tone. We can't hear their tone of voice. We can't see their facial expressions. And because of that, messages can get misunderstood very easily. Instead of assuming someone is rude or they're ignoring us, we should remember that they may be dealing with certain challenges that we can't even see. So now I'm going to tell you about my personal story. So I told you I'm a 39-year-old mother with lupus, and I have young children. And just with the lupus alone, every day can be very unpredictable. Some mornings I wake up exhausted before my day even gets close to starting. And then I have 3 little kids, and they depend on me. I have doctor's appointments, school responsibilities, work, and the emotional stress of a recent divorce that I'm dealing with. So sometimes I get so busy, I don't answer messages right away. And sometimes I forget to respond altogether. And sometimes I'm just simply trying to make it through our busy schedule every day. So if somebody were to judge me based off of just my text messages, they might think I don't care. I'm not responding, I don't care, I'm just ignoring them, I'm being rude. But that's far from the truth. And so digital empathy basically means giving people grace, because we don't always know what's happening on the other side of that screen. And so why does this matter? So according to psychologist Dr. Brené Brown, empathy is about connecting with another person's feelings instead of just judging them. She explained that empathy builds trust and stronger relationships because people feel understood instead of criticized. This idea applies to just much more than online as it does in person. When we choose patience over assumptions, we strengthen our relationships. And that was Dr. Brené Brown's research on empathy and vulnerability. So I'd like everyone who's watching to think about this question. Have you ever received a text message and it sounded rude, but then later you realize that person really didn't mean it that way? Or have you ever been too overwhelmed to respond to someone? Most of us probably have. Now imagine if people automatically assumed the best instead of the worst. How different would our relationships be? How different would our communication be through text and social media? So how can we practice digital empathy? We can think before we respond. That's an important one. Don't assume everyone's intentions. And give people time to reply. Be patient. Be patient with them. Ask questions instead of making accusations so you can clarify.